Then we're gonna watch Shake TV. I'm sorry. The collection thing find interesting. Find the, I didn't interesting, but I interesting the video. So let's go.
They cut off his hands as punishment, then sent him back to his people with instructions to surrender.
But if he bleeding, he will die because bleed. But why survive the bleeding thing? He will survive because their blood like spreading up. How did Paul survive?
The warrior convinced them to keep fighting, and instead of sitting out the battle, he sealed his wounds with
Oh my god, brother.
hot
Why
metal.
the woman just
Next,
like
he tied knives to his wrists, and when they went to war, he cut down his enemy,
Who can slash their armor?
including the
Yeah, it was.
general's second in command. Eventually, his people were defeated, but even though they lost, the warrior
Pearson, I will
fought
Falcon.
till the very end.
Oh, sadly.
Inside, a gas generator ignites, creating a blast of hot gas that turns the water at the bottom into steam, pushing the nuke out of the launch tube. It rockets up.
Oh, this is how work for the missile and down. Wait, this is how work of the missile in the underwater, huh?
Breaking through the ocean's surface in just seconds. Once it's clear of the water, the missile's first stage engines ignite, propelling the missile high into the upper atmosphere. Then it detaches, and the second stage engine fires, sending it even farther and faster. Finally, the third stage carries the warheads into space. There, they separate and begin falling back to Earth, each locked in on its own target. Inside,
How long that's much, man? Like, bro, if you just launch it, how long that's long, man? How a sub launch a nuke?
Talk about your butt. It's just as bland and boring as your personality.
your teeth come loose, falling out into your hand one by one. Now, this is one of the most common nightmares people have. You see, teeth can be as
Same. I have nightmare of my teeth falling 16.
symbol of strength and appearance. And since they're one of the first things people notice, losing them feels like losing control. So some people think this is your brain's way of processing stress. But in reality, it actually happens when you clench your teeth while sleeping. You see, your brain takes
Nikola Tesla in Death Rails Amon.
these physical feelings and weaves them into vivid dreams of your teeth falling out, trying to make sense of the pain while you sleep. Your teeth come loose.
Oh, I have that nightmare too.
It was longer than a school bus and can open its mouth wide enough to swallow.
Bro, if I get swallowed by that snake, like, oh my god, what is wait, dude? What the shit?
A full-grown human. And this is how it compares to the biggest snake alive today. Its body was thicker than a barrel, and it would be as high as your waist if you stood next to it. It would wrap itself around a massive crocodile, crushing it hard enough to rupture organs before swallowing it whole in a single bite.
And the water is like Leviathan. Trust me, it's like the Leviathan, man.
Longer than a school bus. The boat shattered in half as the enemy ship tore through it, and the crew...
Okay, this is impossible. How they got cut into two? But how, man? Let's go there.
Were thrown into the water. The commander saw that one man was injured and pulled him along using only his teeth. After swimming for miles, they finally reached a small island. But they had no way to call for help, and it took days for locals to find them. The commander carved a message into a coconut and sent them to nearby.
Okay, how they understand like film? Bro, why you written like Jack film and they understand? Oh, Jack film, what do you mean? Like, it's like, what do you mean, Jack film? Like that, man.
Forces who finally rescued the soldiers, and that man would become the 35th president of the United States.
Oh.
The
Oh, cool. But oh, okay.
You would be pinned flat on your back, with your arms and legs stretched out to each side. Then, a heavy wooden board would be placed across your chest and stomach. Large stones were slowly stacked onto the board, adding more and more weight.
Okay, there's that. If Boar survived that, you impossibly dead. If he survived that way, he got strongest muscle. Got strongest muscle than everyone.
As the stones piled up, the pressure on your body increased, making breathing extremely difficult and painful. This continued for hours or even days until you agreed to plead guilty. And if you still refused, they would add enough weight to crush your chest inwards, slowly killing you. You would be
Okay, that's possibility why bro in the public and we're gonna die.
pinned.
Like that, dude.
Sniper creeps that occupy.
I hate this. Hey, why you always like 65 day in my? Okay.
He slipped on the high heels, adjusted his wig, and walked nervously past the guards. You see, he had switched clothes with his wife while she was visiting. Dressed fully as a woman, the prisoner hoped this disguise would get him out unnoticed. And he actually made it through the checkpoint without suspicion, but he couldn't walk well in high heels, stumbling as he moved outside the gates. Guards nearby spotted his awkward steps, realized who he was, and they arrested him on the spot. His clever escape failed all because he picked the wrong shoes for the getaway. Slipped on the high heels, adjusted his wig, and the bird swallows the sharp rocks after eating its prey, and these end up inside its stomach. Now this is because it doesn't have teeth to chew with, meaning the bones in its food could puncture its intestines. But if it eats these rocks, they'll rub against the bones. This slowly crushes them, allowing them to be digested. And once the stones are smoothed out, the bird will spit them out and swallow new ones. The bird swallowed.
Okay, why bro? Why this one is like? Oh my god. Impossible. Why? Okay, it's quitting.
He threw a broken fridge down the mysterious hole. And even
I want that fridge because that's useful for me. I can fix it. Please give me.
though he waited to hear if it
Okay.
hit the bottom,
Oh,
no
I
sound
understand.
ever came
I
back up.
understand.
A neighbor threw his dead dog down
Why you not? Okay. Impossibility will get lazy.
there, and a few days later, it was seen running through his garden. But living dogs refused to go near it. The owner of the property lowered 80,000 feet of fishing line, attaching weights to check the depth. He even added candy to the end. In case he was hitting water, the candy would dissolve. But it still never touched the bottom. Eventually, black vans showed up, and government agents seized his land, paying the man off and sending him to the other side of the world. And to this day, no one's been able to prove anything. He threw a
Wow, like, that's pretty cool. Fact, if this real. Wait, it is. Okay.
They stuffed sawdust into her limbs and made her skin out of swan skin. You see, a man had paid a
Oh my God, how did Bro live? How did this thing live? Wait.
her skin out of swan skin.
Bro, why is it alive? I can't live with this skin.
You see, a
Okay,
man had paid
possible.
a doll maker to build an exact replica of his ex. He asked for soft layers under the skin to feel like real flesh, and a mouth that opened. And he even requested real hair to be sewn into the doll. Now, when it finally arrived, it looked nothing like her, but he kept it anyway. He dressed it in her clothes, placed it on the couch, and took it to parties. But after several months, he beheaded the doll before smashing it with bottles of wine. He stuffed sawdust.
Wednesday Adams is here.
Oh, Wednesday, huh? Oh, it's new. But I'm
A
not
man
okay.
walked into his basement, but he never came back out. His wife went to check on him, but she didn't come out either. and their teenage son did the same thing. Finally, the grandmother went in after them and collapsed in the pile of bodies. You see, the family stored potatoes in their cellar, but as they rotted, they released a toxic gas. As each family member entered, they were quickly suffocated, killed by their own spuds.
Okay, good. That's pretty idiot.
Have you ever walked into a room to get something?
But I think they forgot the food, the potato like they just put and white and forgot it, and then boom, they're dead. Their fault. And no one, and like the friend like, where's my friend? Like, oh, there's dead. Like, okay.
And
Let's
instantly
continue.
forget why you're there? Well, this actually happens because of the doorway. You see, your brain sees the doorway as the start of a new event. So your short-term memory is wiped to prepare your brain for what comes next. Meaning you forget what you needed. To undo this, just step back into the hallway and retrace your steps. This reloads the mindset you left behind, allowing you to remember what you were doing. Have you ever walked...
Okay, I was did that. Why you forgot to enter the room? Okay, yeah, I was have that accidentally do that too. That's funny, right? Okay, don't
The
like it.
machine started rolling straight.
Okay, let's skip this one. I know this ending.
If you flew a spaceship all the way to the edge of the universe, what would you find? Well, space might not actually end, but instead split into different universes, each with a different reality. Or you might find yourself back where you started, since space could actually exist in an infinite loop that curves in every direction. But it's possible that this is all just a simulation, created by a hyper-intelligent being. Reaching the edge would expose the limits of the program, hitting a wall of code that you could never break through. If you flew a spaceship all the way to the edge of the universe,
It was interesting, but check the film. How do you know that if some agent just see our? I don't know. In my room there's a cave. I don't know where is it. Behind it. Don't know. Let's go.
no, you're kidding
Oh, this game is pretty fun. Don't know that, but I just to let it.
It would
Okay.
quietly fly into the enemy's room and record conversations with tiny microphones hidden in its eyes. You see, engineers carefully crafted its wings so it could quietly hover and sneak around unnoticed. This would allow them to hear conversations from several hundred feet away. Then the tiny microphones would transmit the audio back to a nearby receiver. But during tests, even a gentle breeze would cause it to crash, so the project was scrapped. It would
Okay, that will be cool for wage war, like for now, like oh my god, I don't want that.
They cut off the cobra's head and pulled back the scales to reveal a stone. And they say this is made from unused venom. They're supposedly incredibly rare and sell for hundreds of dollars. People use them for good luck, and some say they can even heal other snake bites. But the thing is, snakes don't actually produce stones. The sellers fake the videos using shiny pieces of glass, and some people are fooled, killing endangered snakes for something that doesn't even exist. They cut off.
Okay, that's so bad. But okay, how did this snake live again? If he already died like that, dude, how did bro live again?
When you pull the trigger,
Oh, I
the
love this guy.
flint hits the steel, sending sparks into a small pan of gunpowder. That flash is supposed to ignite the main charge inside the barrel, which
Oh yeah, sorry. Wait, sir. Jack, if you see my video and look at this clip, please explain why it's spreading out. Ammo, you know. Wait.
launches the bullet. But if the powder ignites without reaching the main charge, the flash goes off in the pan, and the bullet stays in the barrel. By the 1800s, a short-lived success was called a flash in the pan. When you
So lucky. I don't know if people like that in landmine. Like, oh, you know, like that. Oh no, like that.
If you took out all of the gold in ASAP Rocky's grills and melted it down, how much money would you get? Well, his grills only weigh about half an ounce, and most are made of 18 karat gold, which is only 75% real gold. This means there's around 0.38 ounces of pure gold in his mouth. And since gold is worth about $3,400 per ounce, his grills would only be worth about $1,200. To get $1 million, you would need over 20 pounds of gold in your mouth, and no one's jaw could ever hold that much.
I don't wanna have that teeth. That's so impossible. How you how you walk, man? Like that? How? Okay, no one.
The apple he was eating suddenly lodged in his throat while he was driving down a highway. It blocked his airway, causing him to lose consciousness. His truck veered across the road and slammed into the concrete median. The impact launched his chest into the steering wheel, but the force actually knocked the apple loose from his throat and out of his mouth, which ended up saving his life. The apple he was eating...
The apple saved him. The apple saved him. Yippee! But interesting thing, how did Bro live? Bro, the shatter of the glass. It won't hit him. Wait a second, guys. I need that. Okay, let's continue our video. So he survived the car crash. Yeah, the car crash.
The tattoo is carefully cut out of your skin after you die, and it's removed in one clean piece, making sure not to stretch the artwork. Next, it's soaked in chemicals that stop bacteria from eating your skin, and this also locks in the colors. Once it's preserved, the skin is flattened to keep its original shape, and finally, it's framed, allowing your loved ones to keep a part of you.
So if you die and you have a tattoo, after you die, the doctor would be burn it. So it would be like taking your part of your skin and your love, if you have a wife, he will take it like that.
Could we stop a huge meteor with a ZAC-D Films tumbler? Well, if it was empty, the meteor would just crash straight through it, sending massive pieces of metal hurtling towards Earth. Now, if you filled it with water, it might slow it down, but it would cause a massive steam explosion in space. And it still wouldn't be enough to stop the meteor. If you used sand, the impact would be hot enough to melt the grains, turning them into molten glass. And this could break the meteor apart, stopping it before it punches through to the bottom.
So in it, check the film tumbler. Oh my god, okay, for a second. Can you stop? Okay, let's go.
When they opened the tomb, they found an iron dagger inside. But back then, Egyptians didn't know how to make tools from iron. Even weirder, the metal had strange crystal patterns, which proved that it came from outer space. Now, most people think a meteorite landed in another kingdom, and the people there used the iron to make a knife. They gave it to Tut's grandfather, who passed it down to him. But others believe the space dagger wasn't made by humans at all, and that it actually came from aliens. When they opened...
Oh my god. It makes actually really interesting that.
Pugs used to have longer snouts, straighter spines, and open airways in the 1800s. But breeders kept wanting shorter snouts and curlier tails. Brothers and sisters were...
Oh, that's cool fact. Jack How we're in pug.
Bred together for these looks, and eventually this led to flatter faces, bulging eyes, and tightly curled tails. Their squashed noses stop them from breathing, while their skulls put pressure on their brains. Their eyes can pop out from shallow sockets, and their curly tails twist their spines. And these problems get worse with each new generation, meaning if we keep going, pugs will eventually die out. Pugs
Oh.
used to have longer snouts, straighter spines, and open airways in the 1800s. But breeders kept wanting shorter snouts and curlier tails. Brothers and sisters were bred together for these looks, and eventually this led to flatter faces, bulging
Oh my god, that's so sad, man. I think this is scared. I can watch this.
As
Stop.
soon as they started digging, one of their phones
What is this?
unlocked itself without anyone touching it. They stopped to watch as it opened apps, snapped screenshots, and even tried to call 911 over and over again. Now, they were digging in a pit that had mysteriously swallowed 45,000 gallons of water without a trace. They were trying to see what was going on underneath the ground, until the phone started going crazy. But it didn't look like it was glitching. It was like something was inside, trying to send a message. As soon as they started...
Okay. It might be something inside and someone hacking like, ooh, there's something through the soul. Okay, don't talk
A
about
dentist
this.
will aim the laser at your gum line.
Okay, wait. 10 video, wait. 6 video games. We end this video.
Vaporizing the excess
I don't know
tissue
about
if your gums cover too much of your teeth. The laser's beam can reach up to 900 degrees, instantly sealing the tiny blood vessels as it cuts through the gums. And this minimizes the bleeding and swelling, making recovery much faster, as it gently trims your gum line. More of your teeth are shown, giving you a bigger smile. A dentist
Biggest
dad
mouth.
went
I didn't interesting with the biggest mouth.
missing while walking the dog. And when the dog came back alone, the son called the police. But when they arrived, they arrested him. They told him his father was dead and insisted he was the murderer. Over the next 17 hours, they repeated this again and again. They even brought in his dog and threatened to put her down if he didn't confess. The man began to doubt his
Okay,
sanity.
my sister is crazy. Wait, what's going on?
Soon, he started hitting himself, pulling out his hair and ripping his clothes.
Okay.
And finally, he admitted to the murder. But then the phone rang. It was the man's sister. It turned out his father was alive the entire time, and he had just gone to catch a train. The man sued the city and won nearly $1 million.
Oh my god, I want $1 million, man.
The flies get trapped on the sticky paper and are fed into a special glass chamber, making the clock tick. You see, tiny microbes inside break the flies down, creating tiny particles that carry electricity. These particles then move through thin wires connected to the chamber. And as they travel, they make a current that's powerful enough to power a clock. 8 dead flies can keep the clock running for several days. And as long as the flies keep landing, the clock keeps ticking. The flies get trapped on...
How much is worth? I want to buy it. So, okay guys, goodbye. See you soon, and I will upload the second video. Goodbye.